Hi, welcome. This video will demonstrate how to complete the W02 Week 2 assignment called Site Planning. And so if you're watching this, I hope you've taken the time to watch the Setup Software activity with Glitch, as well as the About Me that follows up to that in Week 1. Because we're moving right along here, I will simply be demonstrating where I went to complete Week 2, and a lot of the work will be for you to reflect on the design, the goals, and target audience for your website. We'll then end the video talking about how to incorporate color with hex codes and how to incorporate fonts using Google Fonts. And then I think the last thing I'll share is how to share your project with me when you're all finished. So let's get to it. It shows the activity instructions. It can take you up to 60 minutes, but I don't think it will take you that long if you watch this video in its entirety. I imagine it will only take you a half hour after watching or concurrently if you're working while you watch. But feel free to pause this and rewind to watch any of the parts that you may be having trouble with. So if we look down here, first we address the importance of site planning, and we give you examples of other sites to look at, family search and a list apart. And again, I'm just scrolling on down through this assignment. The activity directions here indicate that our first site we build together will be really a 3-page website. It will have a home page and then 2 sub or secondary pages built off of it. So this is the planning phase. It's still important that you complete this. And I've gotten lots of questions about where do we go to complete this and how do I share it with you properly? How do I adjust colors and so forth? So this video is meant to address all of your concerns. So if you look here, the template is discoverable based on that software setup exercise in Week 1. Once you do it properly, if you come to Glitch, you should see it here. I know that the README pops up. It shows if you've remixed the proper starter project, okay, you will have the access to siteplan.html and siteplan.css, and that's where we want to be today. So find those, and it looks like it's here, siteplan.html, and if I click to show and preview next to the code my page, okay, let's actually do that again. I need to pull this over as my preview and click on Siteplan. And once I do so, you'll see there it is. This is, you could say, a semi-complete example I'm showing you. I've edited my name here, which if I'm on the Siteplan would be right here. Scroll on down, okay? And the H2 just below the site plan in the header. And then the course name, you don't have to include the section number. You can omit it. I only teach 1 to 2 sections a semester, so I know who you are. Don't get too bogged down with which section am I in? Will he dock me points? No, I won't dock you points if you neglect to put section. Do include the course name and your individual name. Moving right along, you'll look here. It shows the overview. Okay, there's the overview. It's a header too. And then the purpose, this is something you need to adjust. Okay, don't use my purpose. Write what your purpose for this site is. If it's your first website, talk to me about this being practice perhaps, or being your first website you've developed. It should be about the river rafting content that we'll be doing. And you'll see if I move right along, I've just filled all this inside of a paragraph element. Okay, I even talk here about the sub pages I'm interested in doing. But again, if you're questioning what do I say, what do I put in this section, it's all here in the purpose statement. You could talk about if your goals are to build revenue eventually, share information, share opinions, share personal interests, go for it. These are prompts to just get you thinking on what to fill in that area. But it's important if you ever do more web development work in the future, you should have a purpose behind it. And if you can establish that in this planning phase, you'll have a more successful experience. So that's where that goes. Okay. It says around line 22 to 23. So if I come back to Glitch, that is correct. Glitch does count the lines of your markup here in the margin. And yeah, 22 to 23 is spot on. Okay, they got it. So use that as a guide. Replace the purpose here. Yours will say purpose here. It won't be completed like the one I'm showing you. But write at least 100 words. The same goes for audience statement. If you look there, I want you to target, who is this for? Can you describe the target audience for me? And try to do that. I give you some questions here. Are there target customers? What do you think they want? What are their needs? Are they being met? And how will my audience usually access my website? Again, how long should this be? About 100 words is fine. If you're far from that, write some more. If you're close, excellent. If we come down here, and actually, where is the target audience content supposed to go? It should go right here, just below the purpose. And so just to clarify, that's line 26 through 27. So fill that up. And then it gets into branding. It asks you to fill in an image for your website logo. So make sure you go find that. If I'm here, I do include a link called Dry Or Images. And if you click that, it's going to direct you to this Web Fundamentals page. You're more than welcome to do or use one of these images for your website. You don't have to go and create one and be custom and original. You can, but I say for the sake of learning web development, just grab one of these, okay? And by grab, I mean, let's say you just click on one with the right click and you save image as. You can try to copy image address. That may work today. You may have trouble sourcing that path tomorrow. So I would recommend you save image as, save it somewhere you'll find it, like a WDD130 folder. And I could put in logo2, and it's going to save that as a JPEG. Save. And if I want to upload that to Glitch, I come over here to my assets folder. And again, upload an asset. And I click on logo2. And if I push open, it should open. Okay. If you want to source it, click on it and then push copy. Okay. If you don't like it, you made a mistake, push delete. And it's important to also take note. It's given me the width and the height and the size of this image file. So there may be a time you want a banner to stretch the page. That should be wide and not as high. Okay, so you need to understand, am I getting the right images in? Are they the right dimensions? You may have to go edit those details elsewhere with an image editor. Or you can boss it around in CSS and you can scale things down easily. If you're scaling things up, be careful. It might distort the images and make them blurry and pixelated. So let's jump back to siteplan.html. If I wanted to change my logo, okay, I would just highlight this area here. Okay, and if I want to replace the one I showed you, okay, I go back to my assets folder. Where was it? Oh yeah, whitewater rafting. I would click copy, and then I'd go back to siteplan.html right here, and then I would Control V to paste. And then you'll notice it refreshes every time you make a change here, okay, with your typing. It's going to reflect there. See, it blinked. That's kind of when it refreshes in real time. And if I come on down here, yep, there's the jumbled letters that I wrote in. And down here, there's the updated whitewater rafting image. Okay, if you make typos, just correct them. I'm going to actually remove those characters. Okay, refresh, and good. It's fixed. So moving on, let's talk about color. We're at the 8-minute mark of the video. I recommend using colors.co, but again, make sure you read through color theory on these sites. You need to choose one that really fulfills the needs of your website and helps your target market feel welcome and invited to the site. If we click colors.co, okay, it brings you to a site like this. And if you push spacebar after generating them for free, okay, you can unlock them, and that will change the one you've unlocked. Okay, if you find one you like, you click on the lock icon, and then pushing spacebar will only auto-generate the palettes that you haven't locked in place. You'll notice I've locked all of these in place because I like them. Okay, so you can also physically come in here and edit. Oh, where's my black hex code? It's a 6-character code. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, you'll notice, hey, as soon as I wrote 3 zeros in, it identified the hex code as black. You can shorten them with 3 if it's a similar repeating 0. 3 zeros is the same as 6 zeros. Okay. If you do Fs, right, 1, 2, 3, white. Okay. So if you know the character codes, you plug them in there. If you want to lock them, push lock. I think I might have just unlocked it. Unlock. Lock it. Okay. And pushing spacebar now. Hear that? It's not auto-generating new ones. So find a color template you like. You will want to grab these, so you may want to click on it, push Control-C to copy, and then you go into your site plan on the given line, and you have to change those in HTML and in CSS. So the 5 color stripes, I've got them. You want to lock the ones you like and then input those around, it says line 50 to 60. So let's go verify it's still a good line. 50 to 60, good. Primary, secondary, accent 1, accent 2. Oh, here it is, line 53. Primary, okay. Oh, I chose Dodger blue. Okay, my primary. And then 8D9 was my secondary, is that correct? Oh, no, I chose my secondary to be this purple hue. I wonder if there's a reason for that. Might have changed. Okay, so take note. If you're changing colors with the spacebar, you eventually have to decide on one. Because what I'll ask you to do is come here and edit the hex code for these colors, okay? You want to type in your hex code here. And again, it's a 6-character code. Okay, Control Z will just bring back what you had previously. Okay, boom. And then refresh site plan and you should see it. I also recommend you update the palette URL, which by that I mean click on the URL, Control C to copy it, and then Control V to paste it here. And where I pasted it, okay, it's right above the word primary. So I think my palette, yeah, was this URL right here. So I recommend you do that as well. Moving on to typography, you need to establish a heading font and a paragraph font and do that. So I went to Google Fonts and I found a couple I liked. I'm going to try and include bangers here as well as Roboto condensed. And so let's do this. I'm going to select this font and then I click on Family Selected. You see what I've done? Clicked on the red plus and then I open that up. And let's actually click Import. I will be importing this into my styles plan or styleplan.css. So right click that, copy, and then I come back to siteplan.css and I want to import that at the top of my CSS document. Okay, I've got bangers there, good. And let's go grab Roboto, select this font, family selected, at import, we copy this line here, Control C, copy. Great, I've got both of them. Let's make sure I've imported both and make note or take note, I'm in siteplan.css right now and I'm pasting the import for that URL at the top. Okay, you'll notice down here is where I also want to change the hex codes for what you see here in color theory. So I'm importing the fonts up here in my CSS file and I'm also editing the hex codes for those primary colors here. You'll notice this primary color hex code matches the Dodger blue here. So it's not enough to just edit the siteplan.html, okay, the names of the colors, okay, that's what we see, okay, but if you want to physically change the background color, you have to go to siteplan.css and change them here. So there's my accent, accent 1, secondary, and primary. So it's a 2-step process, okay, for color, edit in both places. Let's now get on, this video is about to end in about 1 minute, so to end this video, I want you to come down here to fonts, read up on that. It's best to use 2, no more. And once you've chosen them, I would import them at the top of your CSS file. If we scroll on down, okay, color your fonts. To color them, you can switch to siteplan CSS again. Look at line 18 to 22, which is right about here, 18 to 22. And this is where you can experiment with that, okay? You'll notice headline color could be something like blue. Oops, let's type in just blue, not the hex code, but the keyword blue. Hex codes are also acceptable. And you should see, yeah, it's changed my type to blue for headline color. If I undo that change, okay, and I have hex code, what was it? All Fs, right? We know that all Fs to be, what color is that? Do you remember? It's white. So that's what's happening here. So change these for colors. If we go on down, the last thing I want to show you is this is where we'll actually write our selectors for CSS, the properties, and assign them values. And that's coming later in week 4, I believe, week 3 and week 4. So the last thing I want you to do for your site plan is just tell me, what would your secondary pages be? And you fill those in here. And I think you get the idea. We're reading comments and editing everything in square brackets. So if you come on down here, you'll find it, where exactly? Oh no, where is it? It tells you to look at which lines. Do we not say lines 23 to 26? Okay, so adjust that. If we come on up here, lines 23 to 26, you can talk about it there. You can also update those right here. Okay, so make sure you update them, save your URL, and copy.